Good morning, Graham here.
And Shirley.
Welcome to Sangeeadventures, another beautiful morning here in northern Cyprus. We're on the Lapta coastal path, something we do every single morning whilst we're here. So what we'll do now is take you for a walk along the coastal path. Beautiful morning. We've just missed the sunrise, but even so we've got that golden path leading towards us as we walk along. Fishing boat out there already, and I'll just pan round just to show you the beautiful mountains in the early morning here. Absolutely glorious. In this video we're going to give you a tour of the lovely town of Lapta, right from the coast all the way up to the very top at the start of the springs. Hopefully you'll enjoy it, so please sit down and enjoy. Findings from excavations, which include pottery and stonework, date Lapta's existence back as far as 3000 BC. Now, according to myths, Lapta was first settled by the Spartans and is one of the original 11 kingdoms of Cyprus. The last king of Lapta was Praxippos, who was conquered by Ptolemy of Egypt in 1312 BC. During the Roman period, Lapitos or Lapta was known for its production of copper and pottery, and it was a thriving place with over 10,000 inhabitants. The walkway there and back from where we parked the car at Zinni's, which we'll look at later on, is about 6.5 kilometres, and it's a lovely way to start every day. Get up early, come and have a walk, have coffee with friends, have a chat, and then start the day off. Couldn't think of a better way to start each day. Beautiful view of the mountains over there. Little humpback bridge we're coming to. And if you look over into the distance, nestled into the mountainside there is Lapta, going right up to the top to the little part called Bashpinar. And we'll have a look at that a little bit later on. And then the mountains spread down, go past Gurna, and on into the distance. A beautiful view there of a fishing boat out on the water and the glorious sun as it rises. Goes over a lovely little bay, which is quite popular with people who live locally. Let's have a beautiful sweep round here. In the distance you can see Karsiaka, where we went to last week. And as we move along the range here, you can look up the Bashpinar and Lapta as it tumbles down the hill towards the coast. And here we come to Lapta Harbour, which is a working fishing port. And there's a few boats that have gone out already this morning. And here we have a small boat leaving the harbour now. Good night, then. Just walking past the quite famous Silver Rocks here, which is very popular with a lot of expats from all over Europe. Got a saltwater swimming pool here, and you can see there someone's fishing off the sun deck over there. A quick sweep all the way around as we turn round and start making our way back towards Zinni's at the end for a welcome cup of coffee. Just round about an hour that walk, and it's still before 7 o'clock in the morning. So what an invigorating way to start the day. Here we are, we've arrived at Zinni's. That's lovely. Good night, Zinni.
Bye-bye.
Hello. And here's Shirley leading the vanguard for the Pia Una. Now at the other end of the Lapta coastal walkway from Zinni's is the start of what they call the tourist strip.
and it's about a half a kilometre strip of land where most of the bars and restaurants and hotels are concentrated here in Lapta. I'll take a wander down here and just give you an example of some of them, and we'll stop off in a couple just to see and have a nice cold drink. So here we go. So we'll start at the top end here with Blue Song and take a wander down the road. Here we have a traditional Turkish separate breakfast place, sitting right next door to a sort of up and trendy beach bar and restaurant here called Chill. Hotel here, the LA Hotel. And then a sea to my right, and then to my left there's the mountain with the old village of Lapta at the top of it, and we'll go to that a little bit later on. In between the hotels and bars, there's some prime estate here, 3 or 4 villas, which probably command quite a high price, but they're all seafront locations. Here we are at Driftwood Beach Bar and Restaurant, and we'll take a wander through, and hopefully I'll get a seat right at the front overlooking the sea. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you. And here we are, lovely beachfront view, and if I look to my left here, you can see Azic, which is the other popular beach resort. But this is a lovely little spot. I'll just take you through into the restaurant just to show you that. To have a nice refreshing break, so I've just ordered myself a large Turkish coffee and some salmon and scrambled eggs for my breakfast. If you want to know where Shirley is, she's in the water behind me somewhere. I've just stopped here by the old Belediyes office in Lapta. It's a beautiful old building set with fantastic views over the coastline, and it was built by the British during their time here, and it's just a lovely old building. There's the views it has down to the coast. And it's also set with beautiful views up to the mountainside as well. Look at that lovely view. Hiya, we're down in Lapta at the Area Bar, which is a really well-known place for Wednesdays and Friday evenings when they have live music. It's a lovely bar. We know the owner, Sabria, very well. And we're going to have a lovely evening here. A few friends are going to join us, and we're going to listen to some live music from Name and Blue Tears, I think they are. And they're a great band, so it should be a nice evening. The Area Bar is a really beautiful place. It's got lovely gardens at the back. So we're actually sitting on the terrace right at the back of the bar area, so we can still listen to the music, but I'll actually have a conversation as well. But I'll walk you up into the bar area. It's a really nice place, and I'll do it now, and then I'll repeat the video in a minute or a bit later on when everybody's come and the band is playing, just to show you what the difference is.
Fine, doing all the time. Are you still easy? Since I'm coming home, well, my body's in a mess. And you should change your head and the way you like to.
Hello. Morning there. I'm a little bit heavy-eyed this morning, and you just got up. It's just about sunrise here in Lapta, and we're at the very top of Lapta Bashpinar, and the start of day 2 of our exploration of the area. It's a beautiful fresh morning. The heat hasn't started yet, And what we'll do, we'll take you around the top part of Lapta today. Behind us here you can see the mountains rising steeply to the top, and you can see there's two clefts in the hill, one just there, and if I swing round to here, here's the second one, and they're two major watercourses which come down this way and supply Lapta with its water. Historically, these have been very important because Lapta actually is the most green area of the whole island with the best water supply, and successive civilizations have used the water to enhance life here. And as we take you around, we'll show you all the things that have happened. Right from early days, and it's certainly enhanced by the Romans when they were here, the water systems have been developed and enhanced to provide a steady flow of water for all people living in the Lapta area all the way down the hill. Some quite ingenious methods which we'll show you a bit later on. But as you look around the hills here, you can see all the ancient stone walls and the terracing, and these have been here, I would suggest, a very long time indeed. And just as we turn round, you can just see the sun poking over the clouds there, providing us with a beautiful sunrise. All the clouds you can see in the distance are clouds over the Turkish mainland. And we swing round here and we start to see the top part of Lapta, which is a little area called Bashpinar. The mountain track that we're on here takes us up to the very top of the mountain, but also there's a spur on it which takes us across to Alsanjak, which is the next village along. And from Alsanjak you can walk to Ilgaz and on to Kami. There are lots of really lovely walks, but certainly in the summer this is the time of the day that you need to be doing them, because give it about 2 more hours and the heat would be far too oppressive to cope with that. Look at a beautiful view down the coastline towards Gyerne. And here we are, just bringing the camera around here. This area down here is called Alsanjak. We'll gradually pan round here and we start to see the mountain again. And the start of Lapta here up in the mountains here. As far as you can go on the road up to the top here in Lapta Bashpinar, you come to a sign which shows you the Lapta Trail. It's a 9.5 kilometre trail. It takes you about 4 or 5 hours to do the full walk, and it in parts can be quite tricky, but if you've got time, it's well worth coming up and doing it. I suggest in the summer months coming very early in the morning before the real heat of the sun hits you, because you need to bring with you plenty of water. Now, in this very unsuspecting little building here, this is actually the springhead for the whole of Lapta. And this initially was developed by the Romans, but in the early 50s, the British engineers, while they were here, totally revamped the whole system throughout Lapta. And there are 3 separate channels up here which can be diverted to provide water for different parts of Lapta itself. And because of this, Lapta has always had a strategic importance on the island because of the abundance of water and consequently the abundance of agriculture, citrus fruits, etc. So from this very unsuspecting little hole here, the whole of Lapta developed massively. Now at the side of this rather stunning villa here, right at the very top of Lapta Bashpinar, you can just make out an old stone wall with arches in it, and then you've got a sort of hexagonal tower at the end of it which drops down a fair distance. And what that does, it provides a water rate for a mill further down in the little valley here. So here, just round the corner from the springhead and opposite the aqueduct, you can see one of the old channels which used to take the water down to the western side of Lapta. A bit overgrown here in spaces, unfortunately, but these channels follow their way all the way through Lapta. So as we come down through the village this morning, we'll point them out to you as we go. Just here, the other side of that lovely villa, There are two huge water storage systems here. There's one here which is a more modern one, and behind it you can just see the domed ceiling of another water system here as well. And that was all part of the intricate system of irrigation here in Lapta. And interesting enough, you can see modern 21st century water systems here. This pipe here comes from a large reservoir on the other side of the mountain, and it's pumped directly now to Cyprus from southern Turkey. So a little mixture of the old and the new. Here's a beautiful view of the Bashpinar part of Lapta. All the old houses here tumbling down the side of the hill, down to the old church there. You can make out in the distance a very large curved stone wall. That again is part of the water system here. We showed you the tower at the top of the hill, where the water comes down, snakes its way down through the valley, and comes to this point here, where there's another drop. And originally there was another old mill at the bottom of that drop, acting just like a mill race, I suppose, and supplying the water this side of Lapta. A few minutes ago we were right up there at the very top of the mountain, and we've went our way down all round these sort of passageways, and we've come to the market square here in Lapta, which is quite beautiful, a mixture of sort of very old traditional houses and very new ones as well. And behind us there is an old Greek Orthodox church. I'll just take you for a little walk around here. I'll just take you down and round here, because this was quite a favourite place of British people many years ago. In fact, the old British High Commissioner in the 50s had a house around here. There's lots of these little passageways which go off everywhere, and they're called yolls. Go up to a row of beautifully renovated old houses here, all with stunning views of the coastline. It's all beautifully maintained. An example of another beautiful villa coming up here. And that is an example of the lovely view that they have from here. We're making our way down the hill now, halfway down to Lapta, down to the main sort of the shopping area. Now just going past the new Balladeer office. Just in front of us here is an old Greek Orthodox church which has been converted into a museum, but it's not open at the moment. We've just stopped off on a little bit of filming, and we're just popping into one of our favourite little places, which is called the Delhi Cafe on the Lapta Strip. They do a really nice breakfast. It's run by a really nice guy. Food is lovely, and they do the best milkshakes in the whole of North Cyprus. And here's the owner here, waving to her. Lovely chap. Yeah, all good. Yeah, we've come for a nice cold drink and a lovely one of your breakfasts.
Welcome.
We're looking back up now at Lapta, all the way up the mountainside there, but we've come down now to the old port of Lambusa, which is a very ancient port, was the main sort of port for this whole area in the kingdom of Lapta, or Lapitos. I'll just pan around to the sea. We're going to have a walk through here, and there are some amazing ruins which we'll take you to. As we come down to the sea now, we can start to see lots of carvings in the rocks here, and all part of the seaport complex, that was here originally. It is a great shame that more isn't done to protect these sites. You can see again quite a lot of sort of structure that's carved out of the rocks here. And every now and then when we get sort of heavy deluges, a lot of the land is washed away, leaving these fantastic remnants of the culture that was here before. As you can see, a lot of carved stone here and worked stone. A lot of excavation work was done here in the late 19th and early 20th century, particularly by American and by Swedish archaeological expeditions. And sadly, they did sort of dig these places out and take a lot of the findings they had back to their own countries, which was very typical of all the sort of colonial type powers at the time. After recent heavy rains, part of probably the old harbour walls that have been exposed. Going along here, we'll actually go down onto the beach itself now and wander along and see what other interesting things we can find. Here again you can see part of the ancient walls here being exposed as we walk along the front here. And here I've come down to one of the most impressive parts of these remains of the fort here. As I pan round slowly, these are fish pools which were cut out of the rock to enable fishermen, when they came, to deliver their catch alive and keep it alive and keep it fresh until it was sold. The fish would be gathered, collected into these pools here, which were all being carved out of this stone. And you can see all the channels here, which were sort of built to enable them to keep the water as fresh as possible, so that the fish was of the highest standard and quality until it was needed. Absolutely splendid. What a beautiful bit of old engineering here. Beautifully carved out of the rock, as you can see. All these channels cut into different pools, etc. Quite a stunning bit of ancient engineering and know-how here. We now come round here into what must have been the little harbour where the boats actually came in. Again, all of this area is just festooned with hundreds and hundreds of artifacts from antiquity. Quite stunning. Here are the remains of the old harbour wall, pieces of old column, lots and lots of cut stone, as you can see, all the way around here. Here we've got some examples of some old fluted columns here lying down here. It's interesting to see where this bit of harbour wall has fallen away, and we look through the layers of here and see how they're all mixed up with remains of pottery and building material, etc. Another carved area coming out to sea here. Now, just set behind the rock pools and the harbour itself is another fascinating area here, which are a whole series of rock tombs. And we'll go and take a closer look at the Lambusa rock cut tombs. And it's quite a big necropolis really for this area, which again shows the significance and history of this particular area, that peoples were prepared to sort of develop quite sophisticated cultures and systems and ways of preserving their dead. Now we can walk into some of these tombs, so I'll take a wander in. I'll keep my eye open for snakes and other creepy crawlies, but hopefully we'll be alright, just to give you an idea of the size of some of these tombs and how they've been constructed. So as you can see, these sort of little, within the main tomb itself, little areas which have been set aside for bodies, etc. But over the years, all the seawater, etc., have turned this rock into a beautiful honeycomb.
Lapta became an important and wealthy city around 800 BC because of the Phoenicians who dominated trade here. During the Christian period, Lapta was the capital city of one of the 14 dioceses, and it was during Roman and Byzantine rule that it reached the height of its importance. The city was renamed Lambusa, which means brilliant, and it was something to do with the amount of money that was amassed in this period of time. This in effect became its downfall because it drew a lot of interest from the Arab raiders who besieged the city and sacked it round about 700 AD. As they were forced out of their homes, they hid all their belongings within the walls of their houses and re-established what is now Lapta higher up on the mountainside. In the 1800s, the people of Lapta established Kyrenia, and they used quite a lot of the stone from the buildings of old Lapta to develop both Kyrenia and Lapta. And probably within the last century and a half, Kyrenia grew in importance as Lapta's importance faded back a little bit. What we're left with now are these fascinating archaeological remains and really interesting history. And if you're over here, it's well worth your while spending some time to come down and take a look. It's fascinating.
Hope you've enjoyed our tour around Lapta, from the mountains down to the seafront and the old and the new. Look forward to seeing you on our next trip.
Yep, from the ancient to the modern, it's goodbye from me as well, and please don't forget to press the subscribe button and the like button, as that helps us develop the channel and continue to make videos like this. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again soon in our next episode. Bye for now.